Scientific section, Unit 4, Engineering. Let's take a look at this vocabulary list. Throughout, during the period of time. Design. Plan something to decide how something will look. Tools. An instrument, a thing that helps you to do your job. Equipment. Solve. To find the correct answer for something. Improve. To become better than before. Concept. An idea or a principle of what something is or how it works. Primitive. Belonging to an early stage in the development of humans or animals. Ancient. Very old. Pulley. A wheel or a set of wheels that is used with a rope, chain, etc. to lift or lower heavy objects. Lever. A strong bar that is used to lift or move something heavy. Lever. Wheel. One of the round parts underneath a car, a wagon, etc. Mesopotamia. The area of present-day Iraq and parts of Iran, Turkey, Syria, and Kuwait. Era. An important period of time. Near East, the Middle East. Axis. An imaginary line through the center of an object, around which the object turns. Architect. A person whose job is designing buildings, bridges, etc. Execute. To do a piece of work, perform a duty, implement. Construction. The process of building something. Pyramid. A large structure built especially in ancient Egypt. Column. A long post made of steel, stone, etc. Core. The most important or central part of something. Renaissance. The period of European history between the 14th and the 17th century when there was a new interest in science and in ancient art and literature. Rapid. Very quickly. Aircraft. Any vehicle that can fly, airplane, helicopter, etc. Allow. To permit, to give the green light, to let somebody do something. Invade. To enter a place in large numbers. Advent. The coming of an important event, person, invention, etc. Page 40. Reading. History of engineering. Throughout history, there have always been people who designed and built tools or other devices to solve problems or improve lives. The concept of engineering has been around since ancient times, as primitive engineers created basic inventions such as pulley, lever, and the wheel. Each of these inventions is consistent with a modern definition of engineering and makes use of basic mechanical principles to develop useful tools and objects. The ancient era. Simple, classic machines were known in the ancient Near East, and then the wheel and the axis were invented in Mesopotamia during the 5th millennium BC. The oldest architect known by the name Imhotep designed and executed the construction of the Pyramid of Djoser, a step pyramid, in the Saqqara region in Egypt around 2630–2611 BC, and he is also credited with first using columns in architecture. In Persia, the oldest practical water-powered machines appeared in the 4th century BC, the water wheel and the water mill. Middle Ages. During the 6th century AD, the Indian engineers invented the cotton gin, and by the 9th century AD, They designed wind-powered machines such as the windmill and the wind pump. Later, the Arab engineers designed the spinning wheel in the early 11th century. This was essential to the growth of the cotton industry, which was the core of the early Industrial Revolution in the 18th century. European Renaissance. The first steam engine was built in 1698 by the mechanical engineer Thomas Savery. The development of this device led to the emergence of the Industrial Revolution in the coming years, which allowed the beginning of the mass production of engines of various functions. The modern era. The inventions of the Scottish engineer James Watt gave rise to the modern mechanical engineering, which opened the door wide for the development of specialized machinery and their maintenance tools during the Industrial Revolution, and led to the rapid growth of mechanical engineering in its native Britain and abroad. Chemical engineering, like mechanical engineering, developed in the 19th century during the Industrial Revolution. The work of James Maxwell and Heinrich Hertz in the late 19th century gave birth to the field of electronics and electronic engineering. Today, aeronautical engineering deals with aircraft design. This field of engineering has been growing day after day to allow humans make their dreams come true, to invade the outer space by designing better spaceship. Finally, with the advent of computer technology in the 1990s, the first search engine was built by the computer engineer Alan Emtage. The brilliant minds of engineers are still creating whatever it takes to elevate our world to make it a better place to live. Exercise A. Read the text and try to guess the meaning of the highlighted words, then match them with their definitions below. A simple machine used to lift something heavy. Lever. A machine that separates the seeds of a cotton plant from the cotton. Gin. Cotton gin. The science of designing, making, and flying planes. Aeronautical engineering. A piece of equipment consisting of a wheel over which a rope or chain is pulled to lift heavy things. Pulley. Actions performed to keep a machine or system functioning or in service. Maintenance. To raise something to a higher position. Elevate. A period of 1,000 years. Millennium. Exercise B. Read the text again. Look at the list of people and the statements below. Match each statement with the person to whom it refers. He developed the world's first internet search engine. Alan Emtage. He helped to develop specialized machinery and their maintenance tools. James Watt. His invention was the foundation stone of the Industrial Revolution. Thomas Savery. The field of electronics and electronic engineering emerged in the late 19th century. James Maxwell and Heinrich Hertz. The pioneer of engineering who built a pyramid in Egypt. Imhotep. Exercise C. Do the following statements agree with the information given in the text? Write true if the statement agrees with the information, false if the statement contradicts the information, or not given if there is no information on this. To develop useful tools and objects, all types of today engineering depend on old basic inventions, such as lever and pulley. True. Imhotep invented the first steam engine in the world. False. Eli Whitney patented the cotton gin in 1793. Not given. The inventions of James Watt contributed to the growth of mechanical engineering. True. Aeronautical engineering is related to the design of electronic machines. False. Archie is a pre-web internet search engine implemented by Alan Emtage. Not given. Exercise A. Phrasal verbs. Match the verbs in italics with the correct meanings A to J below. Make sure you check the joints over before you leave today. Check over. To inspect for any faults, errors, or defects. The carpenter has used a special hammer to drive the nails into the finished doors. Drive into. To force something into something else by hitting it. This harsh environment is going to eat away at this concrete over time. Eat away. To erode or corrode. The workers had to fence the area off in order not to harm anybody during the work. Fence off. To restrict access using some kind of barrier. I have to jack up the car to change the tire. Jack up. To raise using some kind of mechanic or hydraulic device. We will have to pull the old buildings down before they start work. Pull down. To destroy something quite big. We need to shore up the roof before it falls down. Shore up. To support something or keep it from falling by placing something under or against it. Prepositions of movement show movement from one place to another. We moved the chairs into my bedroom. He dived into the water. She came into the office. Into can also be used to refer to crashes. The cars crashed into each other. The actor ran onto the stage. The musicians brought the piano onto the stage. They walked to the next town. The students are going to school. They are walking to school. The opposites. We moved the chairs out of my bedroom. He went out of the room. The actor ran off the stage. The actor fell off the stage. We drove from London to Edinburgh. Fill in the gaps using the prepositions in the box. My brother drove to Homs in 1 hour. The vase fell off the table and shattered on the floor. She suddenly turned and crashed into the fence. What time does the flight from Cairo arrive? I slipped as I stepped onto the platform. Take your hands out of your pockets and help me. Grammar. The causative. Have something done. Having things done. What is the difference in meaning between these sentences? My father mended the car himself. He did it himself, without asking anyone else to do it. It's active voice. He fixed it himself. He mended the car himself. The car was mended by my father. Again, he did it himself. But this sentence is in the passive. The car was mended by my father. Number 3, my father had the car mended. He had arranged for someone to mend the car for him. So this is the causative. My father didn't have the car mended, so that means he didn't ask anyone else to mend his car. This is the negative causative. Let's take a closer look at the causative. We use the causative in English to say that we have arranged for someone to do something for us. Maybe we asked someone, or we paid someone to do something for us. The causative is formed with have plus the object, then the past participle of the verb. For example, I had my hair cut yesterday. Look at the form. I had my hair cut yesterday. It's in the past. Causative, I asked the barber to cut my hair. I didn't cut it myself. Here in this sentence, I cut my hair yesterday, it's not a causative, so it's wrong. I have my hair cut twice a month. This is causative in the present. I have my hair cut, not in the past. It's wrong to say, I cut my hair twice a month. It's not causative. Now, at the moment, I am having my hair cut. Now, I'm having my hair cut. It's causative in the present continuous. And again, we cannot say I'm cutting my hair now. So that means I'm doing it myself. In the future, you can say, I will have my hair cut tomorrow, or I'm going to have my hair cut tomorrow. Maybe for obligation, I have to have my hair cut tomorrow. For necessity, I need to have my hair cut tomorrow. For possibility, I might have to have my hair cut tomorrow. Or I might have my hair cut tomorrow. Again, we cannot say I might cut my hair tomorrow, so that means I'm going to do it myself. Please remember the form of the causative, have plus the object. It depends if you talk about your hair, your car, your computer, your eyes, and then the past participle of the verb. We also use the causative to talk about something that happens to someone, usually something unpleasant, and beyond their control. For example, I stood close to the fire that I got my legs burnt. I got my legs burnt. You can also say, I had my legs burnt. So it's unpleasant situation. I had my legs burnt. Sam had his driving license taken away by the police. It's unpleasant. Sam was driving recklessly, so he had his driving license taken away. He got his driving license taken away. What about the negative? We in the negative have to add an auxiliary. For example, I didn't have my hair cut yesterday. In the past, I didn't. I don't have my hair cut twice a month. In the present simple, I don't. I am not having my hair cut at the moment. Present continuous, I am not. I will not have my hair cut tomorrow. I am not going to have my hair cut tomorrow. So we add not to the auxiliary verb. I don't have to have my hair cut tomorrow. I don't need to have my hair cut tomorrow. I might not have my hair cut tomorrow. So in the negative, we simply add the negative not to the any auxiliary verb we have. Do not, does not in the present, and did not in the past. Plus have or get, plus the object and the past participle of the verb. Let's take a look at these signs from some shops. Then write what people think when they see the signs using the words in brackets and have or had. Remember, have in the present and had in the past. We repair all kinds of boots and shoes. That reminds me, I must have my shoes repaired. Let's clean your carpets and curtains. My mother goes to that shop regularly. My mother goes, present simple. She has the carpets and curtains cleaned there. We use has here in this sentence because we're talking about a simple present. My mother goes. We make keys of all types. I had almost forgotten. I ought to have a new key made for the house. I ought to, which means I should. I should have a new key made for the house. I must have a new key made for the house. We mend watches and clocks. That shop isn't expensive. I had my watch mended there last week. Last week is in the past, so we use had. Our specialty, painting houses and flats. I don't think I can afford to have our flat painted. I don't think I can afford to have our flat painted. I might have to do it myself. Some unpleasant things happened to these people last week. Use the sentences in brackets to write a sentence with had something done. Remember the form? Had something, the object, and then done. Huda's bag was pulled off her shoulder. Huda had her bag pulled off her shoulder. Ali's driving license was taken away by the police. Ali had his driving license taken away by the police. Had is in the past, his driving license is the object, taken away past participle. Muna's glasses were broken. She had her glasses broken. Our electricity was cut off because we had forgotten to pay the bill. We had the electricity cut off because we had forgotten to pay the bill. Had in the past, electricity, the object, cut off past participle. John's clothes were torn in a fight. It's an unpleasant situation. John had his clothes torn in a fight. He had his clothes torn in a fight. Discuss these questions with a partner. Then write sentences. What can you have done if you go to a barber? I can have my hair cut. I don't cut my hair myself. I need a barber. What can you have done if you go to a mechanic? I can have my car repaired. What can you have done if you go to a carpenter? I can have our furniture renewed. What can you have done if you go to a tailor? I can have my pants hemmed. Or I can have my pants shortened. Make sentences with the form of have something done for these situations. The hairdresser cuts Rana's hair about twice a year. Rana has her hair cut about twice a year. Has, because this is present simple. Yesterday, the optician checked my mother's eyes. Yesterday, my mother had her eyes checked. Had in the past. After being late for work every day for 2 weeks, Tom's boss reduced his pay. Tom had his pay reduced. Had in the past. And this is the end of Unit 4.